In 2005, Scientology was a powerful Hollywood-embedded machine. With figures like Tom Cruise at the forefront, the church had deep pockets, elite lawyers, and an iron grip on its public image. It was just feared. It was off limits. No studio would dare poke the bear of Scientology. People knew things weren't right. Tom Cruise, one of the most famous members, was on TV jumping on Oprah's couch, while behind the scenes he was allegedly pressuring studios and silencing critics. Hollywood bowed, and the media stayed silent, and fear won. But then came Trey Parker and Matt Stone, two guys with a cartoon and a reputation for burning every sacred cow they could find. These guys made it a professional sport, and when they looked at Scientology, they didn't see nothing more but a potential opportunity. They didn't see a protected religion. They saw a cult with celebrity branding and an army of lawyers, and they knew exactly what had to be done. So while the rest of the industry looked the other way, Matt and Trey said F that. They went full blast with Trapped in the Closet, an episode that called Scientology a scam, mocked its beliefs, outed Tom Cruise, not even subtle, but honest.
Tom Cruise won't come out of the closet.
What?
While Hollywood cowered, they stood up for free speech, for satire, and the truth. Now let's dissect the episode that tore off the lid of Scientology and dare to say what no one else would. Scene by scene, joke by joke. This is where the chaos started. This is Trapped in the Closet. The episode opens with Stan, Kyle, Cartman, and Kenny walking out of a card store, talking about the cards they just bought. But Stan didn't buy any cards because he's saving up money to buy a new bike.
I'm saving up for that bike I want. Saving money, duh.
The boys then make plans to go play laser tag, which Stan turns down, suggesting they do something that is free, which Cartman reminds Stan the most important rule of physics.
Stan, don't you know the first law of physics? Anything that's fun costs at least $8.
The boys ditch Stan and run off to play laser tag, leaving Stan alone. That's when he stumbles across a group of people handing out free personality tests for Scientology. They invite Stan to take a test and keep reminding him that it's completely free. After answering a bunch of vague, generic, and confusing questions,
Do you ever make remarks which you later regret?
Sure.
The recruiters then tell Stan that he is deeply, miserably depressed.
Well, I hate to tell you this, Stan, but you are one messed up kid.
Huh?
And Stan wasn't even aware of this, leaving him confused and worried. When Stan asks what he should do, the recruiter just tells him simply,
We just need $240.
So much for free. This is where the episode starts to reveal how Scientology's recruitment tactics actually work. First, they hook people with a free personality test. Then they convince them that they're sad and depressed. Then they charge them for the solution. It's a typical, spam? Spoomy? Whatever. Stan Marsh, still processing the fact that he was just told that he's miserable, goes home and asks his parents for $240.
$240? What'd you do, break something?
Randy and Sharon Marsh, being the rational parents they are, immediately shut him down,
Stanley, do you have any concept of money at all? Money doesn't grow on trees, you know.
giving him an important lesson on the concept of money by giving him a choice.
Well, if you really think your life is so bad, Stan, why don't you take what you have out of your bicycle savings?
Well, but that's my money.
Now Stan is hesitant. He's saving for a bike, but Scientology just told him he's deeply depressed, so he makes the call. He gives up his money to join the Church of Scientology.
So do you have the $240? Perfect, we're on our way.
After handing over his cash, Stan is taken on a tour learning the history of science fiction author L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology. Then he's taken to a small room with a e-meter, a strange device with two metal handles attached to wires. They tell him that this machine measures the level of thetans in his body. Stan is just hoping this will bring him the happiness he just found out he doesn't have. And then suddenly, in a gasp of shock, Stan's readings are through the roof, and this causes a huge freakout. They run tests on 4 different e-meters, and after coming to the same result, the Church of Scientology come to an astonishing conclusion. Stan is the reincarnation of L. Ron Hubbard. Almost immediately, dozens of Scientologists swarm the Marsh household, bowing to him, praising him, and calling him to be their new leader. Randy, trying to understand the weirdness of the situation, sends Stan to his room. And poor Stan, he's just exhausted, wanting to get some sleep. But as soon as he turns to his room, there is Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is ecstatic to meet Stan. Believing that he is the reincarnation of L. Ron Hubbard, he is desperately seeking his validation, asking Stan what he thinks about his acting. Stan, being the voice of a generation, gives him an honest answer.
You're not like as good as Leonardo DiCaprio, but you're okay, I guess.
Tom Cruise, completely soul-crushed, thinks that he's a failure in the eyes of the prophet, runs right into Stan's closet and shuts the door, setting off one of the most iconic jokes in all of animation history.
Dad, Tom Cruise won't come out of the closet.
Stan's dad knocks on the door.
Mr. Cruz, come out of the closet.
Nicole Kidman showing up and begging Tom Cruise to come out of the closet.
Tom, don't you think this has gone on long enough? It's time for you to come out of the closet.
John Travolta shows up and ends up in the closet himself.
Hey, it's really nice in here.
And even R. Kelly shows up, giving a musical number with his gun.
And so I pull out my gun.
This running gag being a parody of R. Kelly's Trapped in the Closet, this joke keeps escalating, becoming less of a metaphor and more of a hilarious roast. Classic South Park. Meanwhile, the leader of Scientology tells Stan that it is time to learn the real truth of the universe and the reason why people get sad and depressed, an alien reason. Long story short, 75 million years ago, an evil galactic overlord dictator dude named Xenu was in charge of this galactic federation. He had a lot of overpopulated planets, so to fix the problem, he gathered the Infinity Stones and snapped his fingers. It's just the same story though, right? Anyways, he kidnapped billions of these aliens from these overpopulated planets and froze them with his spaceship freeze laser. Then he loaded them up and brought them to Earth and dropped them into volcanoes. Because why not? Volcanoes are hot and they're already frozen. It's pure English literature. Well done, L. Ron Hubbard. I mean, but wouldn't it make sense to leave them like the North Pole or like Antarctica? Like underneath the Earth where it's already frozen? Oh, whatever. I'm just nitpicking L. Ron Hubbard after all. Anyways, after the frozen aliens are dropped into volcanoes, their souls, or the Thetans, were left to wander the earth, attaching themselves to the souls of humans, traumatizing them with memories of Xenu. And supposedly that's Scientology's answer to our anxieties and depressions. Alien souls from a volcano, dropped there by frickin' Thanos. I just love how the show keeps flashing. This is what Scientologists actually believe. This was the first time many viewers ever heard of Scientology's secret doctrine. Many were shocked, but even more were laughing at the ridiculousness of it all. And the funniest part, this is literally the real story. Scientologists pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn this. Imagine being in the Church of Scientology in the mid-2000s, paying your dues to hopefully one day learn the secrets of it all, for only South Park to expose how ridiculous it is for the whole world to see.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Then the CEO of Scientology tells Stan to write more books so they could keep selling them to the people in the church. But when Stan writes that followers of Scientology shouldn't pay to be in the religion, the CEO starts to mock Stan and calling him stupid for actually believing in it.
Those people out there buy that crap, and I thought you were smart enough to see what was really going on.
Straight out admitting that it's a scam, saying that they both can make $3 million if they just go along with it. Stan, enticed by the money, agrees. By the end of the episode, Stan couldn't blatantly lie to all these passionate, devoted suckers. All of them ripped off and stolen from their hard-earned cash.
Money doesn't grow on trees, you know.
He stands up and exposes Scientology for what it is.
Scientology is just a big fat global scam.
The crowd gasps in horror. Instantly, every Scientologist in the room turns against him. One by one, they start shouting, "We're going to sue you."
We'll sue you, buddy.
Even Tom Cruise, who has finally came out of the closet, threatens to sue him. Stan Marsh, standing his ground, says,
Well, go on then, sue me!
and with that, the episode ends, with credits to John and Jane Smith. Trapped in the Closet aired, and the Church of Scientology absolutely lost it. Tom Cruise reportedly went ballistic, allegedly threatening to pull out of Mission Impossible 3 if the episode wasn't pulled from rotation. But the episode vanished from Comedy Central rerun schedule not long after. Isaac Hayes, the voice of Chef and Scientologist himself, quit the show entirely. He did it as a protest over the show's insensitivity towards his religion. But according to Trey and Matt, Isaac didn't even write his own resignation. They claim Scientology wrote it for him. Then there were the legal threats too. Scientology didn't file a lawsuit, but the pressure behind the scenes was real. Matt and Trey said they were tailed, watched, and possibly even had their phones tapped. All of Scientology hysteria backfired though. The church had spent decades maintaining a perfect public image, using fear and celebrity status to silence critics. But Trapped in the Closet aired on basic cable, made millions laugh, and maybe most importantly, made people stop taking Scientology seriously. This wasn't just comedy, it was one of the first high-profile hits to Scientology's reputation. And after this episode, more stories came out. Whistleblowers spoke up, documentaries were made, the fear cracked, all thanks to a cartoon about 4 foul-mouthed Colorado boys. Legendary. And there you have it. That's the entire story of Trapped in the Closet. One of my personal favorite South Park episodes. If you enjoyed this content, leave a like and subscribe. I'm Flithy B, and I'm out.